Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Allow your eyes to close, find a soft gaze. Give yourself a few moments of conscious breath. Every inhale, feel your ribs expand. Every exhale, feel your spine go a little taller. Today's session will go a bit deeper into the inner thighs and the groin. We're going to start off in a wider variation of a child's pose. So bring your forearms down to the mat. Spread your knees about as wide as your mat or maybe even a little bit wider. And I'm just going to turn to this side so you can see this a little bit better. My knees are out. Try to keep your ankles and your knees at the same level and then just breathe here. Wherever your hips are, don't judge it. Just breathe into this space, this opening of the hips. Your hips are as high or as low as you need them to be. Breathe into your lower back. Every exhale, feel your hips getting a little bit heavier. Release tension through your face, through your eyebrows, through your jaw. And find a few more moments of breath here. Notice if you're able to ease into it a little further. Slowly start to make your way out and move to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. Bend your right knee, open your hip. And take a moment just to yawn and open the front of your right hip. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Keep your back knee lifted. Pause and breathe here. Step your left foot outside of your left hand, so you're in a big squatting position. Bring your hips to where you're able to bring them. Maybe your hands come to heart center. Push down into your feet, power down to stand up. And then squat down again, hands to the ground. Hold here for a moment. Try to stay open through your chest. Step your right foot back. Pause here for a moment, keep your back knee lifted. And then find three-legged dog, left leg up into the air. Bend your left knee, open your hip, allow the front of your hip to open. Step your left foot outside of your left hand, big lunge position. Step your right foot outside of your right hand, move to your squat. Push down into your feet, stand up. Open through the front of your hips. Bend your knees back into your squat. Hands to the ground. Step your left foot back. Three-legged dog, send your right leg up into the air. Bend your right knee, open your hip. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. You're in a squat. Push down through your feet to stand up. Open through the fronts of your hips. Bend your knees, hands to the ground. Step your right foot back, three-legged dog, left leg up into the air. We will repeat this sequence a few more times. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Step your right foot outside of your right hand, squat position. Stand up, push down to open through the front of your body. Bend your knees into your squat, hands to the ground. Step your left foot back for your lunge. Three-legged dog, send your right leg up into the air, bend your right knee, open your hip. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Step your left foot forward for your squat. Power stand up, push down through your feet, open through the fronts of your hips. Bend your knees, hands come to the ground. Step your right leg back. Three-legged dog, left leg up into the air, bend your left knee, open your hip. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Step your right hand forward for your squat. Push down to stand up, big breath in. Bend your knees, hands down to the mat. Step your left foot back. Three-legged dog, send your right leg up into the air. Bend your right knee, open your hip, push down through your hands. Step your right foot forward and then stay here. Walk your hands so they come over to the left side of your mat. Bend your left knee. Now you can stay in a parallel position or you can turn out through both of your feet to bring your hips just a little bit lower. Take the variation that works in your body. Gaze over towards your right foot, crawl yourself forward, launch off of your back foot, balancing half moon. Now we're gonna move between these two postures. So re-bend into your deep squat. This is pretty athletic, especially for the inner thighs and the groin. And then move back into your balancing half moon. Step your left foot back, find your deep lunge. Bend into your right knee, lift your back foot, balancing half moon. And again, bend into your back knee, shift back. Shift forward, right hand down, left leg lifts. Bend into your left knee, shift back. Shoot forward, and you could be taking this a little bit slower if that feels more accessible to you, but we're just moving between these two. Big step forward, big step back. And then hold this next lunge position. Rotate over towards your back knee, so you're towards the back of your mat now. And now slide your left foot back for three-legged dog. Bend your left knee, open your hip. Step your left foot between your hands. Crawl your hands over to the right and continue to bend into your right knee. Now you can stay in a parallel lunge or you can move to your turned out lunge. And this is where we move between those two big postures again. Shift your weight to your left foot. Bring your left hand forward, launch your right leg up. Bend into your bottom knee, step your right foot down, move back into a side lateral lunge. And continue to move between these two postures. Now, this is definitely more athletic. We're finding a good amount of balance as you come to your left foot. Try to keep one hip stacked on top of the other. And we're emphasizing this opening through the hips. So allow your knees, both knees, to track over your ankles and toes as you move between each posture. And then also feeling a nice bit of movement into the upper torso as well. Make sure that you continue to breathe. Hold this final lunge. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Slowly rotate over towards your right leg, so you're back in a low lunge. Three-legged dog, right leg up into the air. Bend your right knee, open your hip. Place your right foot down to the mat, downward facing dog. Take a few moments of breath in your downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the ground, swing your legs around and in front of you. Final stretch in our session today will be a straddle stretch. Open your legs out to the side to your range of motion. Make sure both of your knees are pointed up to the ceiling. Now, if you need, stay in an upright position and just sit up as tall as you can. If it feels accessible to you, maybe you bring your fingertips out in front of you. Maybe you're able to bring your forearms down to the mat and release your body. Try to keep a flex through both of your feet and try to allow your knees to rotate up towards the ceiling. Imagine that someone's taking your two ankles and pulling them away from each other. Allowing a little more openness through the hips, the inner thigh, the groin. Take a few more moments of big breath here. Try to release tension in the face and the shoulders. This can be kind of an intense opening. Wherever you are, slowly start to walk yourself out of this and we'll meet in a cross-legged position. Use your hands to help bring your legs in. Bring your hands to rest on your knees with your palms pointing down or pointing up. We'll take our final few moments to bring focus and awareness to breath, to ground down into the body, to notice any shifts or changes you may feel. And use your breath to facilitate this idea of becoming present in your skin. Exhale your breath out. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.